Hi, I'm Erin with 5 Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is going to be a fun flow with lots of plank holds. So for your core, we'll be doing planks and side planks, but the rest of with holds, and the rest of the class is going to be like a fun, free, kind of more rapid flow, but not more rapid than I can instruct you and give you cues and also modifications. So jump into this class with a great attitude and have fun with the flow and make it your own at any point. For postures that don't work for you or your own personal flair. And we're gonna start with, as always, some breathing and a spinal warm-up, and then we'll just jump right into our flow. I'd like to thank all of my Patreon supporters and my YouTube subscribers and members. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for alerts when new classes are available, and like this page and please make comments. So let's get started. Go ahead and make your way into an extended child's pose, bringing your knees wide and your big toes to touch, extending your arms long on your mat, spreading your fingers nice and wide, and placing your forehead gently down on the ground. And as you settle into your extended child's pose, we're going to begin to deepen and lengthen our inhales and our exhales, the breath being the fundamental practice here in our Vinyasa class. So let's start with a cleansing breath. Breathe in through your nose, fill up your belly and hold it at the top. And then release it with an open mouth exhale. And you can close your lips and begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And if you are comfortable with Ujjayi Pranayama, the breath of victory, you can start gently constricting the back of your throat, making your breath audible. Keeping your lips closed. And listen to the sound of your breath as it goes in and out through your nose, filling up your lungs, expanding your rib cage, and ultimately filling up your belly. As you complete your exhale, just draw your belly button back to your spine, contracting your core. And continue the rhythm of your breath, just working toward long, slow, even inhales and exhales. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There's no tomorrow there either. There's only now. There's only inhale. There's only exhale. There's only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and head work out their relationship. Take 3 more breaths here. Complete your last exhale. And we're going to begin to move. So just slide your left arm underneath your right. Bring your left shoulder and your left ear onto the mat. Feel the stretch in the back of your left shoulder. And let's switch sides. So extend your left arm long on your mat. Slide your right arm underneath your left. Come onto your right shoulder and your right ear. Extend your right arm long. Take one more deep breath in extended child's pose. Press your way up to a tabletop position. We're going to continue to warm up the spine with some cats and cows. So breathe in, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, round your spine. Bring your chin toward your chest, look toward your belly button. And then with your breath, Breathing in to come to cow pose and breathing out to come to cat pose. Just continue this slow, steady, fluid movement. Return to a neutral tabletop position. Then we're going to stretch the side by walking our both hands to the right, bumping the hips to the left, and then taking your gaze toward your right toes. Walk your way back through center and to the left. Bump your hips to the right, and then take your gaze toward your left toes. And then make your way back to tabletop, positioning your hands right underneath your shoulders. From here, we're gonna make our way to a downward facing dog. So tuck all 10 toes under, lift the hips high, release the heels down toward your mat, look back toward your toes. Make sure that your heels are disappearing right behind your toes. Your head should be heavy, your neck is nice and long. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Long, slow, steady breaths. Let's take one more breath here in our first downward facing dog. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Look toward your hands, make your way to the front of your mat. Come into ragdoll, bending your legs a lot, draping your torso over your thighs, bringing opposite hand to opposite elbow, and then gently swaying side to side, bending and straightening one leg at a time. Again, letting your head hang heavy so that your neck is relaxed and you're getting a nice lengthening of your upper back in the spine. And then complete your last sway and then come back to center. Release your hands down toward your mat, nice and loose. You need the support of your legs. You can place your hands on your legs. And from here, let's just roll our way up to a standing position. So nice and slow so you don't get a head rush. And then once you arrive in a standing position, come into mountain pose. So look down at your toes, spread your toes so you can see a little bit of mat between each toe, and then extend your fingertips down toward your mat, engaging the backs of your arms, your triceps. Roll your shoulders down and away from your ears. Find a nice steady gaze out in front of you, maybe down on the floor. And then on your next breath in, rise up to tall mountain. So you're keeping your legs engaged and just the same as they were in mountain pose, but now you're lifting your arms up, reaching your fingertips up toward the sky. As you breathe out, cactus your arms. Pause here, drawing your elbows down. Fingers are spread wide, palms facing open. Lift your chin. Take another breath. On your next breath in, reach both arms up overhead, returning to tall mountain. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips, reaching your arms off to the side and come into standing forward fold, Uttanasana. So here we're working in the direction of straighter legs, getting a hamstring stretch here. It's okay if your legs are not all the way straight. We're just working in that direction. Again, no tension in the neck, so you're looking back toward the back of your mat, letting your head dangle here. On your next breath in, take a halfway lift. So nice flat back here. As you breathe out, come back into forward fold, maybe a little bit deeper this time. And let's do two more. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, standing forward fold. Breathe in. And your deepest forward fold yet. Exhale. Plant your hands on your mat. Step back to a high plank position. This is going to be our first hold. So nice solid plank, pressing your heels back, spreading your fingers nice and wide, gazing down at your hands, gazing down at your mat. Really engage your quadriceps and then focus on your core here, drawing your belly button back toward your spine. And then can you continue to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. If you need to release extra heat, you can open your mouth and breathe out through your mouth. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of shaking. That's just great. Building muscle, building stamina. And modification for all of our plank poses is to just release your knees down onto the ground. So you can keep them lifted or you can relax them on the ground, continuing to engage your core either way. Alrighty, let's shift forward and lower all the way down onto the belly. Take the tops of your feet flat to the floor. As you breathe in, just lift your chest off of your mat, coming into low cobra. As you breathe out, release. Tuck your toes under. Press up to a high plank position, and then let's release back to downward facing dog. All right, right away, let's lift the right leg high, open your hip, bend your leg. One more breath here. All right, we're going to sweep the leg, bringing your right knee toward your left elbow. So kind of in a circular motion. If you need to peek at the screen, go ahead. And then come all the way back into that open three-legged dog. And then bring your right knee toward your left elbow again. And then open downward facing dog, three-legged dog. And then release your right foot down to the mat. Let's do that on the other side. Just warming up the core. Inhale, lift your left leg high, open your hip, bend your leg for three-legged dog. And let's sweep that leg across the body, bringing your left knee toward your right wrist and tap. And then three-legged dog with that open hip. And then again, tap. And three-legged dog, nice and open here. And then release your left foot down to the mat. Separate your feet so they're hip distance apart for downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. Step, walk, or float to the front of your mat. Come into standing forward fold. On your next inhale, rise up, tall mountain. As you exhale, standing forward fold. As you inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, standing forward fold. Plant your hands on your mat, step back, high plank pose. This time lower chaturanga, or you can lower all the way down onto your belly. Inhale to upward facing dog or low lift cobra, which we already did. And then exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. A couple more rounds of traditional sun salutation. So look toward the front of your mat, make your way forward. So we're just building a little heat in the breath in the body. Forward fold, inhale, rise up, tall mountain. As you exhale, you're gonna hinge from your hips, sweep your arms off to the side and come down into standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, standing forward fold. Plant your hands, step back, high plank pose. Exhale, either halfway or all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Last round, come forward to the front of your mat. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain pose. Exhale, standing forward fold. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Step back, high plank. And chaturanga or to the floor. Upward facing dog or cobra as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, return to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. One more. Lift your right leg high as you take a deep breath in, and then make your way to a low lunge position. So taking your right foot between your hands, As you breathe in, extend your right leg straight for extended pyramid pose. And as you breathe out, bring your forehead toward your right knee. Breathe in, halfway lift in extended pyramid pose. Exhale, return to low lunge. Drop your left knee down onto the floor. Top of your foot flat to the floor. Inhale to crescent moon pose. Maybe look up toward your fingertips, pinky fingers slightly spiraling in. Release into that left hip flexor. And exhale, bring your hands back toward your mat. Tuck your left toes under and step back into downward facing dog. On your next breath in, lift your right leg or your left leg high. As you exhale, bring your left foot between your hands for low lunge. Breathe in, extended pyramid pose as you begin to straighten your left leg, and then exhale, bring your forehead towards your knee. Breathe in, halfway lift, looking past your left toes. Exhale, low lunge, release your right knee down to the floor. Take the top of your right foot flat to the floor. And as you breathe in, come up to crescent moon. Slight spiral of your pinky fingers in, active fingertips. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. And just release into that right hip flexor, getting a stretch in your quad. Exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. On your next breath in, rise up to crescent lunge. Hold here for 3 and 2 and 1. Breathe in, reach high. As you breathe out, come into warrior 2. And hold this. Gazing out across your front fingertips, lowering your shoulders away from your ears, engaging through your core. As you breathe in, come up to 5-pointed star. And as you breathe out, you're gonna circle your arms. So this is a little variation. Circle your arms around, squat down, bring your hands to your heart, and hold. Exhale a little bit deeper. Sweep your arms down and all the way back up. And exhale back to warrior 2. Reverse warrior as you breathe in, sliding your left hand down your left leg. And then come into low lunge. Step back to high plank. As you breathe out, lower halfway down or all the way down. Upward facing dog or cobra, and back to downward facing dog. And lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Big step forward to low lunge. As you breathe in, rise up, crescent lunge. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, lift high. Breathe out, warrior 2, and hold. Gaze out across your front fingertips. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. As you breathe in, 5-pointed star. As you breathe out, circle your arms out and around. Come into prayer squat. Exhale a little bit deeper. Sweep your arms down and around. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. And out. Inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, low lunge. Rise up, crescent. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star, and circle your arms around. Exhale, bear squat. Circle your arms around. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, moving on to extended side angle. Bringing either your elbow toward your knee or your fingertips toward the floor, reaching your left arm up and or over. Getting a nice stretch through the left side. Big sweeping motion all the way to reverse warrior. Keep your legs as they are. Just kind of spiral your arms up and back. And then low lunge, high plank. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Always skip these chaturangas and just press back to child's pose or downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Step through low lunge. Rise up crescent. Exhale to warrior two. Breathe in, 5-pointed star. Breathe out, circle your arms down and around. Prayer squat. Circle them back up. Star. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Let's make our way to extended side angle. Elbow on knee or fingertips toward the floor or a block. Reach your right arm up and or over your right ear. So that nice stretch all along the right side of your body and the strength in your foundation. Big sweeping motion all the way to reverse warrior and to low lunge. Make your way back to downward facing dog. From here, lift your heels high, shift forward, high plank. Take your right ankle over your left heel, cross your legs, and then just rock back and forth, forward, backward. 2 more, 4, 5. Uncross your legs and switch. So left ankle over right. And shift forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncross your ankles and then press back to downward facing dog. On your next breath in, lift your right leg high. Step forward, low lunge. Rise up crescent. Warrior two. Circle your arms down. Inhale. 5-pointed star. Circle your arms down and around. Prayer squat. Circle your arms down and around. 5-pointed star. So get a hang of that movement. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse warrior. Exhale, half moon pose. So if half moon is not in your practice, take side angle again. Otherwise, extend your left leg out behind you, balancing on your right leg. Right hand reaching either the shin, a block, or the floor. Left arm reaching up toward the ceiling. With grace and ease, go ahead and make your way to prayer squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Stem on our exhale, we're coming to standing straddle splits. Take your heels behind your toes, hinge from your hips, come all the way down. Let your head dangle, let your arms relax. This is an inversion, so your head is below your heart. Slow your breathing down. Feel your heart beating. Listen to the sound of your breath. On your next breath in, come up to a halfway lift. Walk your hands forward 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Hands are in line with one another, and then press your hips back. Wide-legged downward facing dog. This gives you a little bit more room to stretch through your shoulders, bringing your chest toward the side, the opposite side of your mat. Exhale here. Inhale, walk your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. And then as you breathe out, come into a side lunge toward the back of your mat, Skandasana. Play here with maybe lifting your hands up off of your mat and bringing them into prayer position, pressing your palms toward one another. And then you're gonna scoot your way toward your right leg, Skandasana on the right side, lunge. And again, maybe playing with taking your hands up off of your mat. If you can't hold it, that's fine. Maybe you just come up onto your fingertips or you go back and forth. All right, now we're gonna kind of shimmy our way to a low lunge at the back of our mat. So go ahead and bring your hands on either side of your left foot. Your right heel lifts, so you're in low lunge at the back of your mat. Keep your gaze down toward your toes, and then step your right foot to meet your left. Keep your hips low, lift your arms up for Utkatasana chair pose. Hold here, sinking your hips down. Breathe in. As you exhale, sweep your arms back behind you for airplane chair. Inhale, rise up to tall mountain. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And forward fold again. Step back, high plank, lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Same leg, right leg, let's flow back to the front of the mat. So lift your right leg high, step forward, low lunge. Rise up, crescent. Warrior two, plant your left heel down. Circle your arms down and around, inhale. Five-pointed star, circle your arms down and around. Prayer squat. Circle your arms down and around, five-pointed star. Warrior two, back to the front of your mat. Reverse warrior. And low lunge. Step back, high plank. Lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. And out. Other side, lift your left leg high. And step forward, low lunge. Crescent, breathe in. Warrior two, breathe out. Circle your arms down and around. Star, keep circling. Squat. Star. Warrior two. Reverse. Half moon or side angle. So we've already been in side angle, you know where that is. For half moon, stack your right hip on top of your left. Lift your right leg up off the floor. Reach your right fingertips up toward the sky or the ceiling. Left hand on a block, the floor or your shin. Breathe in. With grace and ease, come to prayer squat. Maybe not with grace and ease, but try it. Rise up. Five-pointed star. Heels behind your toes. Hinge at your hips. Standing straddle splits. 3 breaths here. Let your head dangle. Heels behind your toes. One more breath here. On your next breath in, rise up. 5-pointed star. Warrior two to the back of your mat. Reverse your warrior. Low lunge. Step your left foot to meet your right. Keep your hips low. Inhale, chair. And flow, exhale, airplane chair. Inhale, chair. Exhale, airplane chair. Inhale, balance chair. Lift your heels up off of your mat. Hold for 3, 2, 1. On your inhale, come up to tall mountain. Release your heels to the mat. Exhale, standing forward fold. Halfway lift. And chaturanga, or back to downward facing dog. On your next breath in, let's flow back to the front. So lift your left leg high, step forward, low lunge. Crescent to rise up. Warrior two, circle your arms. 5-pointed star, circle your arms to squat. 5-pointed star. Warrior two to the front. Reverse warrior. Low lunge. And make your way back to down dog. Take a break for a couple breaths in child's pose, bringing your knees wide, toes to touch, hips to heels, or head to your mat, right where we begin. Can you hear the sound of your breath as it travels in and out through your nose? Take a body scan, working your way from your fingertips all the way to your toes. And just notice the state of your body, your heart beating, your blood flowing. If you're in my neck of the woods, a lot of sweat. Very, very hot and humid here in Tamarindo. And one more breath. I'm going to add some side plank holds to our flow. So make your way back to downward facing dog. Just take a nice cleansing breath before we begin to move again. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. All right, you know the basics of our flow. Try to make it, with grace and ease. Not all of us are dancers, but make it like a little dance. So bring your right leg up. Step forward, low lunge. Crescent. As you breathe in, warrior two. Circle your arms down and around. Star. Squat. Star. Warrior two. Reverse. Half moon. Big breath in. Prayer squat. Star. Standing straddle splits. Halfway lift. Exhale, come to the front of your mat in Skandasana. And Skandasana to the back of your mat. Side lunge on your left leg. Low lunge to the front of your mat. Bring your right toes out to an angle. Bring the outer edge of your left foot to your mat and sweep your right arm back. Look toward your left foot. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And then make your way back to Skandasana on your right leg. Skandasana on your left leg. Low lunge to the back of your mat. Keep your right hand planted. Step your left foot to meet your right and lift your left arm up. Side plank. Hold it for 5 and 4, 3. Don't forget modification, knee to the floor. 2, 1. Chaturanga. Roll down. Upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Let's flow back to the front of the mat. Lift your right leg high, so this is the same leg. Low lunge, step forward. Crescent lunge, rise up. Warrior two, circle. Star, circle. Squat, circle. Star, and warrior two. Reverse warrior. Low lunge. Back to downward facing dog. One breath here. We'll go to the other side. On your next inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward. Low lunge. Crescent. Rise up. Warrior two. Circle. 5-pointed star. Circle. Prayer squat. Circle up. 5-pointed star. Standing straddle splits. Halfway lift. Skandasana to your left leg, the front of your mat. Side lunge to the back of your mat, with or without your hands on the floor. To the front of your mat. Low lunge. And then just take your left toes out to an angle, roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, and reach your left hand back toward your right toes. That stretch in your right side. All right, come back to Skandasana on your left foot. Back to the back of your mat on your right. Low lunge, facing the back of your mat. And then right into side plank. Left hand on the floor, right foot stacks on top of left, right arm reaches up, modification, left knee on the floor or right foot on the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 with grace and ease. Chaturanga. Rolling down, forward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. Let's flow back to the front. Lift your left leg high. Low lunge. Crescent, rise up. Warrior 2, circle. Star. Squat. Star. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Low lunge. Chaturanga. And back to downward facing dog. All right, for those of you who caught it, we did miss a half moon on the left side just for a breath. So we won't miss it this time. If you just threw that in yourself, bravo. And if you didn't, you're okay. We don't need to be completely even every single time, but I try to never miss a pose. So let's go through our flow again, and then we'll take a working break. So lift your right leg high, step forward, crescent, rise up, warrior 2, star, squat, star, warrior 2, reverse, half moon, breathe in, squat, star, standing straddle splits, halfway lift, Skandasana to the front, to the back, low lunge to the front. Bring that those right toes out to an angle and reach back with your right hand. Skandasana to the front on your right leg and make your way to low lunge at the back of your mat. Right hand is your foundation. Side plank and chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Same leg. Right leg lifts. Low lunge. We're going to add on a posture here. Crescent lunge. Airplane lunge or airplane. Balancing on your right foot. Lifting your left leg up off the floor and hold for 3, 2, 1. Crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Circle your arms down and around. 5-pointed star. Warrior squat. 5-pointed star. Warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Reverse warrior. And a low lunge. Back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lift your left leg high. Step forward, low lunge. Rise up, crescent. Warrior 2. 5-pointed star. Prayer squat. 5-pointed star. Warrior 2. And the long-awaited half moon pose on your left side. Step onto your left foot, stack your hips. Reach your right arm up, breathe in with grace and ease. Then back to prayer squat. 5-pointed star. Standing straddle splits. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Skandasana to the left, to the front of your mat. To the right, to the back of your mat. To the left and into low lunge. Bring your left toes out to an angle. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Reach back with your left hand. Look at your right toes. Skandasana to the left. And then low lunge to the back of your mat. Rise up, crescent lunge. Adding on here, airplane pose. Step onto your right foot. Lift your left leg up off the mat and hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Step back, crescent lunge, rise up, and warrior 2. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Low lunge. Step back, high plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Low lunge. Flow back to the front. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Star and squat. Star, warrior 2. Reverse. Low lunge. High plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Complete your exhale here. Make your way to extended child's pose. Breathe 3 deep breaths here. Go ahead and make your way through tabletop to your seat. Bring your feet, both feet, out in front of you with your knees bent, feet flat to the floor. We're going to do a couple of core strengtheners with boat and variations of boat. So from here, go ahead and take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. If you have a strap and that's more accessible to you, wrap your strap around your feet and you're going to hold on to your strap. Lift your heels up off the floor. You can stay right here, or you can begin to extend your legs straight. Lower your shoulders away from your ears. Look out past your toes. Hold here, or you can separate your legs. Wide angle pose. Right, from wide angle pose, bring your feet back together, release your toes, and hold boat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Low boat. Boat, cross your legs, and come back into high plank and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Side plank on your left hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Side plank on your right hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High plank. Lower all the way down onto your belly. Extend your arms long on your mat with your palms facing down by your sides. On your next breath in, lift your arms and legs up off the floor. And press back to child's pose. And make your way back to downward facing dog. Okay, that was our active rest. I guess that wasn't very restful. We'll get a rest in just a second. I want to do a couple more balance poses here. So lift your right leg high and step forward to low lunge, crescent, warrior 2, reverse warrior, half moon, hold for 3, 2, 1. Come back to warrior 2. Circle your left arm down and around. Lift your left heel up off the floor for crescent lunge. Airplane pose. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Sweep your left leg through. Take your right hand to your hip. Take your peace fingers around your left big toe and extend your leg straight for 3, 2, 1. Extend your left leg to the left, right arm to the right for 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center, release it to the floor. Inhale, tall mountain. And exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step forward, low lunge. Rise up, crescent. Warrior two. Reverse. And half moon for 3, 2, 1. Warrior two. Crescent lunge. Airplane for 3, 2, 1. Big toe hold. Bring your right leg through. Peace fingers around your right big toe. Extend your right leg forward for 3, 2, 1. Off to the right, hand to the left for 3, 2, 1. Bring it back to center. Release. Mountain. Inhale, tall mountain. Standing forward fold. Halfway lift. Standing forward fold. High plank. One more chaturanga if you're up for it. Forward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And bring your shins to the floor. Knees touching, toes touching. Separate your feet and then sit your hips between your heels for hero pose. Nice stretch to your quadriceps here. Sit up nice and tall. Eyes open or closed. And we're going to take 3 more breaths. All right. From here, we're going to extend our right leg to the right. Come down onto your sitting bones. This is too much for your left leg. You can always bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Either option is fine. We're going to take a side bend and a twist. So bring your right hand to your left knee. Bring your left hand up and over toward your right toes. Try to keep your left shoulder in line with your right. So you're not hunching forward, but you're staying open on your left side. Release from your side bend. Bring your left shin in, the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Bring your right hand out behind you. Lift your hips up. Reach your left arm up and back. Get a back bend here and an opening for your hip flexors and the whole front side of your body. And then go ahead and just sweep your arm down. Release. Make your way back to tabletop. Bring your knees together. Separate your feet. Sit your hips between your heels. Hero pose. If you'd like to recline, you can take your hands behind you. Lift your chest, lift your chin. Maybe come down onto your forearms. Dropping the crown of your head down toward the mat. Or you can lay flat on your back. And hold here for 3, 2, 1. If you're reclined, make your way back up. Keep your right leg where it is if you can, and extend your left leg to the left. If it's not working for your knee, bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Bring your left hand toward your right knee, and then side bend, reaching your right hand toward your left toe, or big toe, maybe grasping it. Taking a little bind here. Opening through the right side of your body. Keeping your right shoulder in line with your left, not rolling forward. Release from your side bend, and then bring your shin in, sole of your left foot towards your right inner thigh, left hand out behind you. Reach your right arm up, lift your hips. Look up or look back, reaching your right hand toward the back of your mat. Opening your hip flexors, front side of your body. Gently releasing your head back. Opening your throat. And release. Bring both feet out in front of you. Extend your legs straight. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Lift your arms up. Hinge from your hips. Reaching toward your toes or walking your hands along your mat. And one more breath here. Release from your fold, bend your legs. Take hold of your big toes. Lift your feet up off the floor. Open your legs for upward angle. Bring your feet back together. Boat. Low boat. Boat. Cross your ankles. Step back to downward facing dog. You're going to take some deep hip stretches now, so lift your right leg up. Come into half pigeon pose, bringing your right knee toward your right wrist, your right toes toward your left wrist. Stand up through the crown of your head as you breathe in, and then release as you breathe out. Two more breaths. Come back up onto the palms of your hands, tuck your back toes under. Bring your right leg high for three-legged dog. Open your hip and bend your leg. One more back bend if you'd like it. You can take and flip your dog. Reaching your right toes or the sole of your foot flat to the floor. Reaching up and back with your right hand like we did when we were on the floor. And then return to three-legged dog, lifting your right leg high. Bring your right foot to the outside of your right hand for wide-legged low lunge. Release your left knee to the floor. Sweep your right arm back. Take hold of your left ankle or foot. Get a nice quad stretch here. Gently release your left foot to the floor. Bring your right hand back to your mat. Tuck your toes under and step back downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high. Half pigeon on the other side. Left knee toward your left wrist. Left toes toward your right wrist. Reach up through the crown of the head as you breathe in. And release as you breathe out. Soften into your pigeon pose. Very deep hip stretch. Keep your breathing slow and steady. We're taking about 7 breaths here. This will be breath 5. And last breath here, your lungs, right here, right now, in the present. All there is breath. Come back up onto the palms of your hands. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your left leg high. Open your hip and bend your leg. If you'd like to flip your dog, you can just bring your left toes or the sole of your foot flat to the floor. Lift your left arm up and over. Look back toward your left fingertips. Return to three-legged dog, placing your left hand on the mat, lifting up through your left leg. Bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Wide-legged low lunge, release your right knee to the floor. Sweep your left arm back, bending your right leg, taking hold of your foot or your ankle, sinking into your right hip flexor, getting a deep stretch through your right quadricep, the front of your right leg. Release your right foot to the floor, bring your left hand back to your mat, and then step back, downward facing dog. Bring your shins to the floor, cross over your ankles, roll down onto your back. Nice and slow. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Knees are pointing up toward the ceiling. Bring your arms into a goal post position. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, bring your knees to the right, and we're going to windshield wiper the legs. So come back through center. Bring your knees to the left. Keep going. Keep that breathing rhythmic, steady and smooth, remembering that breath is the foundation of this practice. Breath will keep you in the present moment. And breathing is a practice, so it's going to get easier as you practice pranayama, as you practice yoga. One more to each side. Bring your feet back to hip distance apart. Bring your arms alongside your body. We're going to do 3 rolling bridges. So press into your heels. Roll up to bridge. As soon as you get to the highest point in your bridge, roll down. As soon as your tailbone touches the floor, roll up for number 2. As soon as your tailbone releases, roll up. This is your last one. And down. Draw your knees loosely into your chest. And then bring your knees to the right. You can stack or stagger your knees. Bring your right hand to your left knee and extend your left arm to the left. Look toward your left hand. Bring your legs back through center and bring your knees to the left. Stack or stagger your legs. Take your left hand to your right knee. Extend your right arm to the right. Look toward your right hand. Bring your knees back towards center. And now let's take a tight squeeze. So it's called Apanasana, knees to chest pose. Bring your toes, heels, and knees side by side. Wrap your arms around your knees. You can take opposite hand toward opposite wrist or opposite hand toward opposite elbow. You can't wrap your arms around your knees. You can always take your hands to your knees. Just pull them in tight. So you're getting a compression to your hip flexors. Take one more breath here. Separate your knees and feet, come into happy baby pose, taking hold of your big toes with your peace fingers or your shins or the outer edges of your feet. You can rock side to side. Any final movements you'd like to take, go ahead and do that now. When you're ready, you're going to make your way toward Shavasana, the most important and restorative pose of our class. Extend your legs long, and it is a pose. Let your feet fall open. Release your arms alongside your body, palms face up and fingers are relaxed. Head is heavy on the floor. Gaze is up toward the ceiling. You can continue to gaze, or you can close your eyes if that's more relaxing. Let's close with a cleansing breath, so breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top. When you're ready, release it through your mouth. Gently close your lips. You can keep them slightly parted if you would like. Once again, take a body scan, working your way from your toes all the way to the crown of your head. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week, and their notes they send to one another always say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist most nights. I sneak out of the window in my ribcage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit, until the sun comes up. Last evening, my gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There's only this moment. There's only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and I walked up to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile. And as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" When you're ready, roll onto your side, cradling your head in your arm. Taking this last moment here on your mat, in this space, connected to your body, connected to your lungs, connected to your breath. In gratitude for this time, this space, the amazing practice of yoga. When you're ready, make your way up to seated. Bring your hands to your heart. You're going to take one collective breath together. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts and peace in your words. Peace in your heart. From my heart, to each and every one of yours, namaste.